No, literally for most of the episode, I was like, what is going on?
So, what's up, everybody? My name's Josh.
And I'm Nick.
And we're here to give you
a reality check. Period. Survivor 47, episode 3 kicks off with a bang with not another night chat for the first time in 2 episodes, which is refreshing change. But we have more advantages, more journeys, and even more blind sides. Very good episode. What did you think?
The episode as a whole was just, it was crazy because there was so much that happened. And
talk about a journey.
Talk about a journey.
We're not talking about the musical group. Don't stop believing. You're on your own journey, right?
Start with Tuku. We just come back from Trap.
Okay.
So it starts with Tuku, and they are coming back from Tribal, and we have a little scene where we see Caroline and Sue have a little celebratory moment, and
yes,
they're excited because they had a successful blindside.
I love that.
Did you expect TK to go home?
Yes. I love these little moments where we get to see them be excited about their own gameplay.
Just so thankful yet again.
It wasn't Sue.
It wasn't Sue.
Right.
Thank God.
It could have been anybody.
It could have been.
If you love all things reality TV, all the way from Big Brother, The Summit, Drag Race, The Challenge, everything in between, we're here to talk about it and give you your weekly reality check. So be sure to like, comment, subscribe. You can listen, watch, or see our silly videos on TikTok. We're on all those platforms. Be sure to check us out on all of those.
Which then goes back to the little chats that Tiana and Kyle were having. How did we feel about that?
I remember that we did kind of talk about it a little bit. I had asked you if you think that their relationship is going to be kind of skewed at all. And from that conversation, it seems like Kyle is chill enough to be like, it's a game. I understand why you did what you did.
Exactly.
And later on, we still see that Tiana is still one of his number ones to protect.
Yeah, he was more concerned hey, why didn't you let me know what way the vote was going?
I
would have voted with you for Sue. So, I mean, it's nice to know that, we're seeing a little bit of gameplay for him that he's trying to follow what Tiana's doing. So
he's giving very much floater. He's floating on the tsunami for sure.
On the tsunami.
And he's about to get taken under.
Sue Nation. Yeah. Because there's only one queen in the sea. And that's Mama Sue. Pan over to Gata.
Yeah, we get to Gata.
We see a little beef.
There is tension.
Tension's high. Trouble and Gata. Talk about trouble in Tuku.
Yeah.
Trouble and Gata right now.
Gata, whereas Tuku is having trouble kind of finding their strides in the challenges at first.
True.
Gata is having trouble as on their vibes. As a structural unit building their tribe together.
Yeah. I'm just confused, and we saw a little glimpse of it when Rachel was kind of pointing out how uncomfortable it is for her to sleep. They really don't have a good shelter build right now at all, and they won 2 challenges. They have some stuff that they can do something. They have the fishing gear. What are you doing, Gata?
What are you guys? What's going on?
They're focused on building a clothesline rather than have a good shelter.
I get it. Sam said, and I agree with him. Bamboo is bamboo. Yeah. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter if you slant it, if you put it upside down, or if you lay on it like a bat. It's going to be uncomfortable.
That is true.
But I do think that there are things that can improve your shelter, like getting it off the ground, making sure that your roof doesn't leak. Things like that kind of this
enough
basic,
room for everybody to sleep.
Yeah, enough. Yeah, it has to be a little bit longer than the tallest person.
Exactly.
At least, so
for sure.
Kind of see them, and we heard them say that they've been focusing on vibes rather than the tribe.
How far is vibes going to get you in the game?
I can't eat vibes.
No, I can't eat vibes. No. I can't energize vibes. No. But talking about energy and the energy shift, Andy, what happened? What happened?
I literally was watching the episode and I was like, oh my God, wait. Andy's a functioning member of Survivor 47 all of a sudden.
Yeah, he's having a little bit of gameplay thoughts. Yeah. We saw that he went off with Sierra and had a little moment with her. So that was cute to see that he's trying to have some kind of strategy. But he went from having these crazy panic attacks to just be twirling his hair in the back. Yeah, just straight up vibing.
How did you feel about him immediately offering up his shot in the dark?
That was a lot for me because you only, you want to have some kind of advantage for yourself or some kind of like, last
Fail
resort.
safe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He was so willing to just like offer it up to somebody who, in my opinion, he had the least game or human moment with thus far. Like if it was Annika, or honestly if it was Rachel, I could understand. He had moments with her, but to Sierra, like
I don't know. I think I kind of disagree with you because we had that moment where Sam was kind of buttering Andy up last episode and trying to create that bromance. And Andy knows how close Sam and Sierra are. So do the math. He's trying to get kind of both ends of the coin.
Okay, I could see that. Now that you put it like that, I do understand.
But I agree with you. Like giving up your last, your life vest in this game it's a risky move. But I think it was a smart move. I think it shows Sierra and Sam that he's able to kind of calm down and play the game.
Yeah. I'm excited. We'll
see. We'll see if it lasts.
Yeah, listen.
We'll see if his sanity
There's a lot of different routes for Gata to go down. Yeah. So I'm excited to see where that's going to go. Transitioning over to Lavo a little bit. That first shot with Rome. Production really said it's Rome's day today.
Yeah, it was a very this episode was very Rome heavy.
Yes.
And I mean, Rome doesn't really let anybody else on his tribe breathe in front of the camera.
No.
But even still, like it was a very Rome heavy.
Listen, he's a provider. He's going to light the fire this time.
Yeah.
That whole little fish moment that happened with like Asia and like the whole like him eating 2 fish and Genevieve clocking that there were 4 and he ate 2.
Actually did see a tweet from Rome saying that he caught 7 fish.
Yeah.
And ate 2. There is a line in Survivor where you're either not contributing enough or you're contributing too much.
Yes.
And I think Rome is like, here's the line for doing too much. Rome is like way
up there. Way up there.
And,
he's not just exceeding his Survivor checklist that he definitely came in the game with.
Right.
He's
doing everybody else's checklist.
He's making sure that he's getting like the Survivor passport completed. Like he said, stamp, 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 check, check, check.
Yeah. Do you think that like I don't know how I feel about it because like on one hand, when you're out on that island that like you're gonna be so freaking excited. So part of me is like I totally empathize with him because you want to do everything you can do.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm not going to fault him for doing things to better his game. At the end of the day, this could save him. It could hurt him right now.
It's hurting him.
In this moment, it's making him have a spotlight that might not necessarily be the best kind of spotlight. So.
Except Genevieve, because we've had 1.5 confessionals from her.
That was so shady.
Is frustrated with Rome. But then he flips it on his tribe. That's what makes me laugh, is that he's like, oh,
if I saw something, there should have been somebody getting the water. Yeah, like he wanted the whole thing.
I'm doing all this work.
He voluntarily did all the work.
It's like you jumped up with the damn Hawaiian sling, baby. Like, literally, Teeny was like, "Oh, I'd love to give it a try," and he was basically like,
"Oh, there's a current."
Yeah, no, you don't. Like,
no, yeah,
just kind of like, no, like,
Rome Gasolina Marie,
gaslighting the hell out of his tribe. For sure.
But
I love it. Rome is kind of growing on me.
Not a hot take.
A hot take. Rome is growing on me. I just love that he is just so.
He's starting to play, and he's the only one who's playing the way that he's playing.
And it's probably for the best, because if they were all playing like that, it would be Survivor 40 chaos. Now, talking about finally starting to play, Kyle finally wakes up a little bit from his like floater trance that he's in.
Yeah.
And he realizes after his conversation with Gabe that he really is kind of next to go.
Yeah. He's definitely not high on the totem pole.
No.
Tiana she can go either direction at the end of the day. Like, she can go with the girls and have the 3 over the 2 boys. Like, Tiana's put herself in a great spot.
Personally.
Girls,
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like, I wouldn't mind if Caroline went home. What did she do?
Listen, she leveraged her business degree, baby.
Listen, she's using her degree and she's connecting with Sue, but like, between the two right now, I feel like I'd rather see Kyle fight for individual immunity than Caroline right now.
I find it interesting that this is the moment that Kyle decides to kind of
have a personality.
well, not even have a personality, but like start the game.
Yeah.
Because I agree with what Sue said. It was before the tribal immunity, and Kyle's trying to bebop and scheme every which way about the tribal council that they might not even have to go to.
Yeah.
So I agree in that moment, like, let's just try to keep the vibes high. We'll have plenty of time to come back. Like, do you think that that was like a good thing of Sue to say, or what?
I think Sue is just trying to make sure that everyone is appeased at some point, even though she was a little shady. Listen, I'm here for the shade. I have my glasses on for you, mama.
Yeah.
But for something, I mean, it's good for her game. At the end of the day, building a relationship isn't going to hurt you in this game. If it's
But she shut it down, is what I'm saying. Kyle opened that conversation.
Yes.
This is what I'm asking you. Do you think that she
was...
kind of bit the hand that fed her in that moment?
Well, did Kyle really feed her that much?
Yes. Gabe in that moment was like, you know, my wounded birds.
No, but Kyle still had to put a vote towards her. I don't know. I'm going to look at it a little bit. Come on.
No, I'm saying in that moment before the immunity challenge.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a better call for Sue in that moment to just fake hear Kyle out.
Yeah.
And then go back to Gabe and address it with Gabe instead of being like, I don't want to hear anything you say. You voted for me. I hate you. I'm not going to trust anything you say.
I see both sides. I get why she acted the way she did out of emotion, but on a strategic point, yeah, that probably would have been best for her game to make sure that everyone was appeased. But like, I don't give her a tally mark for that, you know, against her. Yeah. So,
do you believe in Survivor second chances?
I mean,
because I personally, in this moment, can't see Sue working with Kyle going forward.
No,
and that's dumb. To close off that door completely and lock it, throw away the key, and bolt it shut.
I'm just at a point where I see both sides of the coin on that one. You know, I could see why
you're petty. PE to the TTY. While these conversations are all happening, we see 3 boats pull up.
They said
1 boat per tribe.
Yeah.
Which is only ever something crazy. Like it's either, a medical evac is coming, Jeff's coming, a journey's happening. Like, something is going down when a boat pulls up.
Immediately, all 3 get to the beach, and I've never seen a session of a kiki happen so fast. They said, we're sipping the tea and we're spilling it all.
Yeah, because they were just like old friends catching up.
They went right to Kyle. Kyle didn't hold any time to let them know who got voted off. Like, he wasn't trying to make sure that secrets were held. Like, everybody was asking every question. They thought that Sam and Tia were in a relationship.
That was a funny moment to me.
There was a lot. How did you feel about the spilling tea sesh? Like, what do you think? It was good gameplay for them?
I think that there's like a fine art to conversations at a journey.
He said Picasso.
Because you don't want to seem too closed off to these people that you might have to work with in a new tribe, like a tribe shakeup, the merge. You want to give them just enough information that doesn't really matter, but they feel like matters to where it's like, oh, maybe I could work with Josh down the line, but I think that for specifically Rome in this moment saying that, nobody's really having conversations with him and he's kind of running it, but he feels like whatever. And I was just like, you don't really want these people to know that. How much time you got?
He was either just like spilling the wrong tea or just like lying about and I understand why he lied. Right. He lied because he wanted Asia and Seoul to be targets, and I get that. So,
props to you.
Yeah, I mean, is it what I would have done? I don't know. It's just there was a lot. There was a lot of tea being spilled. Like you said, they might have to work with each other in the future. Yeah. So
I think the best position to take at a journey is to kind of be the mediator of the other 2 people and kind of facilitate the questions.
That's true.
And like, you're still talking a lot. Yeah. That's true, so you're kind of driving the boat, but you're still in the boat. So people don't really question it too much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you think that the journeys as a whole at this point in the game are worth the risk of like the target that you're going to inevitably have when you come back?
No, I'm gonna say no because what are they on day 6, day 7 at that
Yeah.
point? Already
Yeah.
established your relationships, and if you're just, you have trust with your tribe, it honestly just comes down to if
Where
you
you
get that
fall.
advantage, are you gonna lie about it?
Yeah.
There's a couple different variables. Put their hand in a bag. You had to pull something, and you had a 1 in 3 chance of getting an advantage or losing your vote at the next tribal council.
I thought it was interesting. This was the first journey we've ever seen where your participation was mandatory.
Forced.
Like there was no like, you couldn't switch the dial to be like, save my vote, I'm not gonna play. You had to draw.
It's either you're getting an advantage or you're losing a vote. That's basically.
Yeah. You could double down and go back in and lose your vote twice, or lose it once, I'm done, and just have that one penalty, which I thought was interesting. I don't really know how I felt about the mandatory play, but then again, they chose to go on the journey.
That is true. Listen, there's
give and take.
Exactly. Would you have wanted to be on that journey?
No.
Too risky.
I think it's too risky. I think there's okay, so the difference for me with the journeys is, say your whole tribe is like, I don't really want to, and you draw rocks, or there's like 3 of you that want to go and you draw rocks and then you get it, fine. Because then it's not like Rome where he's like practically already on the boat before it's even docked and whatever. So I think that, or they're doing rock, paper, scissors.
Yeah.
So I think that if it's kind of like a unanimous, like nobody really wants to put that target on their back, then go on the journey. Okay. But I don't think I would ever.
You're not volunteering.
I'm not volunteering as tribute. Like going on the journey.
Part of me just wants the main character energy.
Oh,
I'm going on the journey.
You'd be like, if no one else,
if I have to, no, I definitely would go.
You get that. Then you get the iconic edit at the front of the boat. Where
in the wind.
And they're like,
it would be cute.
The wind in my mullet.
Okay, so Annika and Kyle lose their vote, and of course, somehow the survivor gods are blessing Rome once again. He gets an advantage, and the advantage is he gets to steal a vote at the next tribal council,
which is the first time we've
seen. At whatever.
He earns a steal a vote,
and there's no expiration at this current time.
Yeah, first time we've seen the steal a vote back in a few seasons,
and he has an idol.
Yeah, a good for one use idol.
This tribal is
the survivor gods are favoring Rome in this moment. I would like to note that neither Annika or Kyle thought to go back into the bag for the second draw.
Yes.
They both just decided to take their one tribal lose a vote and get out of there. Which I don't know. What would you have done if you lost your vote on that first poll?
It depends what my relationship is. If I'm in the majority, like there are so many variables.
I think I would have gone for it.
I already doubled down.
Like double down, because at that point it goes from 1 in 3 to 50-50. So your odds are better of pulling the scroll. And then at that point you get an advantage, and I would just manifest that. So moving on.
So everyone gets back. They go.
Wait, Rome pulls his advantage. He pulls the scroll, and the first thing he says is, "Oh my god, I can't wait to tell my alliance." Like there's a reason why things say like hidden immunity idol. You've earned a steal a vote. Like they are supposed to be secretive. There are no secrets in Rome's game.
He's got a big mouth. Yeah. He is telling everybody everything. And I don't know what it is. I don't know what happened, but he gets back to that island and he's doing a lot right now.
Rome hits the beach and decides to sit everybody down, alliance included, be like, hey, I lost my vote. Gives them the story, whatever. They're like, where's the scroll that told you lost your vote? He's like, ooh.
Forgot her.
Didn't have it. Then he pulls Teeny aside and is like, that was a load of crap. I actually got to steal a vote. And then everybody pretty much finds out about it, except Seoul and Asia.
Yes.
I think it was a smart play on Rome's part, because Rome has kind of, up until this point, proven that if there is something that he finds or something that he earns, he's going to tell you about it, which is good if you're Teeny. But then it's also like,
true.
but it's also like now you have to trust him to tell you every time he finds something.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't know how well that's gonna like longevity wise that's gonna last for him.
If it's gonna help him out right now, listen. If
Yeah.
there's one thing about Rome, he's
playing in the now.
Yeah, future does not exist in Rome's current game plan. Which play, whatever.
Which I think is smart because you have players like Gabe that are thinking Final 3 already.
Which is
and like I think it's one of those moments where like you're gonna walk with a map and you're gonna trip over what is right in front of you. Like I think if Rome can kind of reel in his social awareness, that there could be some very good things to come.
Good. He could have a potential really good strategy if he uses the steel vote correctly. If he's in danger, he can do it. So that whole moment happens in Lavo. We pan over to another beautiful water challenge. Love the water challenges. Yes. They're always so fun.
Tribal Immunity Challenge is here.
Tell us what you wrote down, right, when you saw the challenge.
oh. So they, I love the like, it's like the slow over the water shots and then it zooms in and it shows you the challenge. I wrote love a water challenge in all caps. Literally, I don't know if it'll focus on that, but it's right here. Love a water challenge. I do. I think the water challenges for me are personally the ones that I really get excited for because we get to see how these people that I can swim in a pool pretty good. I'm a pretty good swimmer, I will say.
Open bodies.
But when you're in an open ocean where you can't see the bottom and your brain starts playing tricks, like was that a shark? Like like you see how these people kind of react under pressure and if it kind of pulls them under, or if you do what the most athletic woman on season 47 did and dive headfirst.
She is a swan. She is a gracious, beautiful swan. I have never seen someone dive so beautifully.
Yeah.
That was crazy. Shout out frickin' Sue. How did you feel about that moment for Lavo right before the challenge started?
Oh, this was sweet. This was a sweet moment.
Well, so there's two moments. Oh. So the sweet moment we can start with, the Kishan moment.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
I think it's super sweet. Like Jeff said, that is Survivor at its core. Kishan opens up about how, literally a few months before he got the call to go to Survivor, he was taking swimming lessons.
So adorable.
And he had the option to sit out. Instead, Genevieve sits out. And this is the perfect time for Kishan to be like, I'm not really comfortable with my swimming yet. But he goes, you know what? Screw that. I'm going to dive in head first and I'm going to, tackle it. And it was just a moment where we got to see him open up. It was really endearing. And, that's why you watch Survivor.
It was so cute.
These moments of like personal.
He was facing his fears. And he did it head on. And he didn't even look like he was struggling.
I was going to say, he did really
He looked like a pro. Not like a pro, but like, he looked good.
Like,
I wouldn't. Comfortable.
If he had said, I didn't know how to swim a few months before this, I would have been like, oh, really? I wouldn't have
Would never have known.
What moment are you talking about?
I'm talking about the moment with Rome and Soul having that little altercation of who's going to go first.
Oh, my goodness.
One thing about Rome is he is going to make it about him. He really wanted to be the person to start it off. I don't know why he was just so focused on it. Maybe because he wasn't good at balance and he didn't want to let us know. We don't really know why he was so pressed about going first, but hey, I don't know. That little moment just kind of left a sour taste in my mouth about...
Yeah, I agree with you. It's just like, it's unnecessary because it's not like...
It's so pick-me. I'm sorry.
It's very so pick-me. If it was something like, say it was something where they had to like, spin a basketball or like, throw a top or throw darts or something that somebody does like in their day-to-day life, like, hey, I'm a professional dart player.
Yeah.
And the first thing is throw darts. Like, yes.
Go and do that for sure.
But just because you wanted that moment to jump off the thing by yourself and swim and unclip the
He wanted a good picture.
He just wanted that kind of hero moment.
Yeah.
Again, which he wanted in the other challenge too.
I literally wrote down Rome, ... Superman, ? Like, that's what he wants.
And one thing Jeff is going to do is comment on everything Rome does.
He clocked it.
He was like, here we go, Rome, out with some style. Like,
and he's like, Rome got some distance on this one.
I love it.
Crazy.
I love it. I think, whatever. I just don't think that for Rome's, like, social game, it was it's necessary. But at this point,
Yeah.
I don't really think Roma has a social game. So
He's just going with the flow.
yeah, at that point, that is his social game. It's just like ruffling feathers.
I mean, period.
Whatever.
If it's working, it's working. If it ain't broke, don't fix it right now.
The challenge: start at a platform in the middle of the ocean, swim, climb up a rope, jump off that platform. The first person had to separately release a buoy, and then everybody has to run across a balance beam, picking up additional puzzle pieces to do a puzzle on a final platform.
In pairs of 2.
And
then you have to do a big giant puzzle. And at this point in the challenge, Tuku has a big lead. We're thinking that Tuku's going to do well.
Yeah, Tuku really, they went through the water quick.
Got us kind of catching up. They were held back a little bit because Andy couldn't get across. Lava was just nowhere really to be found. They kind of were like, they weren't doing hot in this challenge.
Yeah, Lava was struggling. We had Asia, who was struggling on the balance beam. Kishan did okay, and Rome went pretty quick. Soul did okay.
Somehow, Gata came through and got a poster with the win.
Yeah.
I don't know how it happened. They caught up to Tuku.
Yeah.
At that point, Lava was... Jeff even said... Jeff was so shady for that, though. In the middle of the challenge.
A blowout win!
He said, I'm going to say it now, that Lava goes to Tribal Council.
Yeah.
Shady! Yeah. Shady boots.
I mean, Jeff. It was like a blowout. Lava had like 3 pieces placed while they were finishing their last 3. So
yeah.
The immunity challenge wraps up. We have Gata in first place. They are rewarded with 2 hammocks and a tarp. And then we have Tuku, who comes in second. Hammock.
So immunity challenge wraps up. We get back to camp. It's
like full blown like
what is going on, Lavo? It was a lot. What is your take? What do you feel?
So after the episode wrapped up, we got on the phone and I was like, is it just me? Like, am I tired? Like, was I not paying attention? Or was the back end of that before Tribal Council extremely confusing?
It was so confusing.
I was kind of lost as a viewer because I feel like all of the moments that we've had with Lavo, unfortunately, for the people who really are trying to get a grasp on the strategy of the tribe and the individual castaways, that camera time has been spent developing the storyline that everybody is annoyed with Rome.
Yes.
So I think for me, all of a sudden, we're hearing Rome say how he's been out for Saul day 1, and Genevieve and Rome are, each other's number 1. Had no idea of that. We
made no sense.
The only time that we got to see Genevieve this episode was when she was looking for an advantage on the sit-out bench, which kudos.
And then she said,
which period?
Goodbye, Mr. Flint.
Yeah.
That was so shady.
So I feel like for me as a viewer, I wish that we had gotten more moments before their first tribal where they were discussing their strategy. I do think that Asia kind of tanked her game a little bit.
Yeah.
Being so stubborn. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah. She was trying to make sure that Saul was saved and that the vote was going to either Genevieve or Rome. Exactly. Yeah. Even though...
That's what I'm saying. I don't think she had that leverage to flip it from her or Saul to Genevieve or Rome.
It was either... Teeny was basically coming in and letting Asia know, it's either you or Saul, so...
We want to work
with you, so either come with us.
But at that point, if you really want to work with Asia... And this is where Asia, I think, was kind of left in the dark a little bit, why she couldn't figure out to just go with the vote, because she doesn't know the advantages that Rome has.
That is true.
Because I think if Rome didn't have the advantages that he did, Teeny and Kishan would have worked with Asia and Soul.
I agree.
In a different timeline.
They needed Rome because they already... Yeah, exactly.
They were scared for his advantages to be used on them.
I mean, sure.
But here's my whole thing. Asia made a great point that I don't think that they acknowledged enough. Based on Rome's behavior and his kind of front man wanting to do everything on Survivor attitude, there was not a shot in hell that immunity idol was getting played on anybody but him.
True.
He was never going to play it for Genevieve.
Never.
Just for the sheer... Survivor moment of getting to play an idol.
It was on his bucket list.
So I think if Teeny and Kishan really, really wanted to preserve their relationship with Asia, they should have gone for Genevieve. Because Get Out Room's number 1, then he's weak. And then here's the other thing. Even if they did put the votes on Genevieve without telling Rome or Asia, or Rome or Genevieve, right? So you have Keyshawn, Sol, Asia, and Teeny voting for Genevieve. That's 4. Rome and Genevieve put their votes on Asia. If Rome plays the idol for Genevieve, Asia still goes home.
That is true.
Or, best case scenario, Genevieve goes home. And Rome's number 1 is gone, and now he doesn't have an idol, and he has no leverage for his steal a vote. Because there's still 2 of them, and now in a 5 tribe, you pull 1 vote away, it's at the very least going to Rocks.
The amount of strategy that was just played right there.
And that's what you missed.
Asia, Sol, Genevieve.
Yeah.
Between the 3, they need Sol. Genevieve is... You didn't even participate in the challenge. Like,
I know, like at that point too, we see that a lot in the
You already have 1.5 confessionals and you participated in 1 challenge. What are you giving?
We get to tribal council, and again, we see all of the old faces of the first tribal of the Lavo tribe, which I always love. And we get this moment with Rome. Another moment with Rome. That personally is just kind of like icky to me. Like, I said it in our last episode, you don't go back at Jeff.
No.
Like, you don't interrupt his kind of like, I'm Jeff Probst spiel. You listen to Jeff. It's almost like Jeff is, he's the babysitter. He's, mom. He's dad.
Simon says it's actually Jeff says.
Jeff says, like you do what he says. But we did get a lovely moment with Genevieve because of Rome's unwillingness to answer a question. So
yeah. Wait. We have a couple things to unpack right now. We have that. No, open the bag. Take it out. So Asia has a moment where she kind of was like,
she gave one of these to Saul.
If I told you that I was voting with you, I hope that we're staying to the same pack.
And I'm like, I'm so sorry. She thought she ate so hard. I was like, okay. Like, the only person that was voting with you was you, babe. Like, so just say that in the mirror next time. Like, I thought we were very close to, like, all we needed was a spark. And I feel like we were this close to a full-blown, like, everybody getting up and talking.
It would have been so iconic.
That's what I thought was about to happen. Asia was going to get up,
run to Sol.
Sol
was going to try to grab some.
And
yeah.
I thought we were about to have this whole moment, but instead we got a very demure, very cutesy answer from Asia. And I just wish that, like that's the thing. Like, this is what I was saying in our first episode. Like, would you beg? Like, this is your last moment to like either one, go out with a bang or flip the vote. This is your last moment to do that. So you better take it.
And there you have it, guys. With that said, episode 3 of Survivor 47 takes its next victim, Asia. Podcaster number 2. I'm really sad to see you go. And that's your reality check of Survivor 47, episode 3. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and Spotify to get your weekly dose of reality check.
There you have it. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye.